Hi everyone! It has been such gorgeous weather on the west coast that I am finally able to do a Pike Place video. How can I talk about Seattle without mentioning its most tourist-heavy destination? This is going to be a little longer than my usual videos, but I hope you find it interesting and informative. First stop, Rachel's Ginger Beer. Whether you consider this side the entrance or exit of Post Alley, this shop is hard to miss, especially on a sunny day when you're craving for a cold beverage. From my previous experience, I actually think that Rachel's Ginger Beer doesn't have enough ginger flavor. I was expecting a drink where ginger would just fill my mouth because, well, the place is called Ginger Beer. But maybe because it's meant to suit the average consumer, they toned down the ginger flavor quite a bit. On the upside, they do provide a bunch of different flavors, and the drink is overall quite refreshing. Just don't expect a ginger extravaganza. What's this long lineup? Get used to it at Pike Place, especially on the weekends. If you plan on hitting any of the famous spots here, be prepared for around a 15 to 30 minute wait. This lineup is for Pike Place Chowder. My thoughts on Pike Place Chowder? Love it. Love it, love it, love it, love it, love it. I can't say that I don't line up too long for a lot of food, but I would definitely line up for Pike Place Chowder. I will come back and do a proper video on this some other time, so please be patient. My warning for this area is come with another person and have them hunt for seats. If you want to sit nearby, you'll have to divide and conquer. Pike Place Market is essentially one big farmer's market that runs up and down the street. When you aren't busy checking out the famous shops, strolling past the tents can also give you some great finds. If you're looking for the origin to the millions of Starbucks shops that have popped out around the world, Pike Place is home to the very first Starbucks. The line will almost always be full because how can you resist grabbing a coffee from the very first Starbucks? They keep the decoration old school as well, proudly displaying the first draft of the now famous mermaid logo. If you've been holding out on getting a Starbucks tumbler or mug, this would be the place to finally invest in one.
Thank you!
I wonder if anyone tries to get a crazy order in here. This place is already nuts. I ended up getting a half-sweet iced coffee, which I completely forgot to take a video of, and maybe it's just the tourist trap taking its effect, but I definitely think that was the best Starbucks iced coffee I'd ever had. Today, I was on a mission to try some of the most recommended items at Pike Place. One of them was Beecher's handmade cheese. The store is split into two sides. One is for the cafe, with ready-to-serve items like mac and cheese, and one side is for you to just purchase cheese. One thing to know, not all the cheese they sell are Beecher's creations, so make sure you read the label carefully. I bought the tapenade so I could spread it in a sandwich later. There's also an area that shows you how to make their cheese, which I thought was pretty cool. Pike Place is home to a lot of amazing bakeries, one of the most famous being Piroshki. You can't miss it because the lineup is huge and the store smells amazing. If you're worried about what to get, don't worry, you have plenty of time to decide. They conveniently separate their menu into a sweet and savory section, so I got one from each. I had the potato and mushroom, and then the apple cinnamon roll. Dun 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 dun! The apple cinnamon roll tastes pretty much like a cinnamon bun, except they put in fresh apple slices. These apple slices weren't cooked all the way through, so I didn't fall head over heels for them because I usually love eating really soft apples if they're being baked in a dessert. This was tasty, but wasn't a 10 out of 10 for me. The potato and mushroom bun was soft and had a nice sweetness to the dough, contrasting the savory center. However, I felt like the potato and mushroom filling were a little lacking in seasoning. The bun as a whole tasted good, but I felt there was just something missing. I would buy from Pierogi again, but it's not really long lineup worthy for me. So maybe I'll come on a less busy day. Le Panier, however, I found my bakery heaven. You can tell from the name that this is a French-style bakery, and there's still quite a bit of a lineup that I think equals Pierogi. They offer a seating area too, so if you're looking for a place to rest your feet, this is a good spot to consider. It was hard to choose amongst the baguettes and macarons. Eventually, I decided to go with a croissant and a brioche that I could spread my tapenade on, and then a palmier for dessert. I will definitely come back for their sandwiches though. I had a bit of a sample while waiting in line and it was so yummy. Before I left, I went to check out the famous gum wall. If you are a germaphobe, I suggest you stay clear from this section of Pike Place. With potential to expand further down the alley, feel free to add to the collection. Are you happy now? Back home with all my goodies, from this small shop in Pike Place called Truffle Cafe, I purchased this amazing sample trio consisting of truffle salt, you can smell the truffle even from outside the bag, it's amazingly strong, white truffle oil and black truffle oil. I can't wait to sparingly use this in the kitchen. Then there's the croissant, brioche and palmier from Le Panier. Then the tapenade I got from Beecher's Handmade Cheese. Time to make a sandwich!
So now that we got all this stuff from Pike Place, we're gonna make a croissant sandwich. So we have the Beecher's blank slate tapenade that we're gonna use as a spread. And then we have the croissant that we got from Le Panier. And then we also went to City Target and we got prosciutto because we didn't get any meat at the Pike Place market. It's not really gonna take that much effort. It's more just putting all of the ingredients that we found at Pike Place and trying to see if we can make a crazy sandwich. We put the croissant in the oven to kind of warm it up. The tapenade we put in the fridge, so it's probably still a little hard. I don't think it needs too much because when we tried a spoonful of this at the store, it was pretty pungent and pretty flavorful already. So I think just a little will do. Otherwise it'll become a little too much and you don't want that much. We're gonna open up our prosciutto. And again, prosciutto is something that's also very flavorful that you probably don't need a lot of. So probably just 2 slices for this is enough. There we go. Why? Why? Alright, the moment of truth, because croissants are known to be super flaky. I will try to cut it. No. There we go. So there we go. Pike Place sandwich. So with the brioche, it actually looked a little bit like a muffin. So what I did was I cut off the bottom part and I ended up just having this on top, which made it easier to assemble into a bun. and I already ate. The bottom part is really good. It's really buttery, so if you're watching your weight, it's definitely not, you wouldn't go to a French bakery in the first place. I guess we're gonna do the same thing. It's also really crunchy now that it's been in the oven, so please be delicate and gentle. And again, I'm not gonna put too much on here because I feel like I don't want to overkill it. That should do it. And again, 2 pieces of the prosciutto. Oh, not bad this time. Oh, this one looks like crazy. No! So close. So there's the second one. And again, we are attempting to cut it without breaking the beautiful bun. Oh, this one seems easier actually. Oh, this one was really easy. It looks really nice too. It looks very airy. So there you have it. We went to Pike Place and we bought a bunch of Pike Place famous ingredients, and then we made some sandwiches. I get to eat it. It's really good. The bread definitely steals the show once you eat it. All you taste is like a bunch of buttery aromas. And the bread, it's really good by itself already. And I feel like the cheese does a good job. I was kind of expecting it to overpower the bread, but because the bread itself holds its own in terms of the buttery flavor, the cheese does kind of add to it, but it doesn't get overpowered or it doesn't become overpowering. And the prosciutto is just the nice meat in the middle to kind of balance everything. And because I didn't put too much prosciutto in it, I feel like it isn't overly salty or anything like that. So definitely a pretty good sandwich. Good cut. So now I'm going to try the croissant one. I almost feel like in terms of a sandwich, the brioche one is better because it's very buttery, but it's still bread, so you feel like it makes sense to be in a sandwich, whereas the croissant is actually really, really good. Don't get me wrong, I would probably go back and get a chocolate croissant next time or just get a bunch of it, but I feel like the croissant itself is so good that I almost don't feel the need to have the paste and the prosciutto. I could just eat the croissant as it is, and it's really good. It's not that this doesn't taste good as a whole, it's just that it doesn't really need the ingredients inside to elevate it. So yeah, next time I'd probably get the brioche and maybe put some spread on it and maybe some toppings, but then with the croissant I'd probably just eat it just like that. So now we're gonna try the palmier, which in Chinese bakeries are called so. And so I was pretty excited to try this. Crispy, just like the croissant. And it's a little sticky to the touch though. It's probably glazed with honey or sugar.
Sugar.
Hello? Oh, it's really good. Very flavorful, very buttery. It's crispy, but it's also soft at the same time. So you can hear the crunch, but when you bite into it, it doesn't just break in your mouth immediately and make a big mess. It still manages to hold together somewhat. So I feel like this bakery, all their pastries are very buttery, but very, very delicious.
Okay.
So overall, Pike Place is definitely a place to explore and stuff your tummies, either alone or with friends, but it's also a great place to bring food home to prepare some delicious meals. I wanted to try something different today by just buying items home and making something which I feel still does Pike Place justice, but do try both when you're in Seattle because they are different experiences. That's it for now. I really hope you subscribe and join me on my next adventure. See you next video. Bye!